I'd now like to welcome social activist and influencer Emily Austin. Thanks for joining us, Emily.
Hi, it's my pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Now, you've been unapologetically pro-Israel on social media, even when it wasn't popular. What kind of backlash have you faced, and what keeps you going?
Oof, what backlash haven't I faced? I mean, basically, in light of October 7th, for me, it was a no-brainer. Like, okay, I'm very proudly Jewish, very outwardly Jewish. I have to, you know, condemnation's not enough. Like, something has to give. And just started making it like my entire personality, basically, which wasn't my intention, but I really went off the deep end with the advocacy, you can call it. For me, it's just standing up for human rights and good against evil. And in light of that, every single job that I had either like shunned me, blackballed me, straight up fired me. I was a judge for Miss Universe at the time. I was the youngest judge in history in the franchise ever. And they refused to condemn the sexual atrocities that happened on October 7th, despite my pleas for them to, because I represent the organization. And it's very important for me that they did that. And they wouldn't. And just because I asked, they asked me to never reach out to them ever again and like cut communication to be entirely. Puma dropped Israel, so I dropped Puma, my brand deal. I mean, I was about to sign a contract for ESPN to do NBA TV, and then I became too political for them. So a lot of things really fell through the cracks. But when one door closes, another one opens. And I never would have thought then that a year later I'd have my dream job, but today I have my dream job. So looking back, it was all worth it.
Now, a lot of young Jews say that they feel unsafe on campus or online. What would you say to them?
It's very easy to say, don't be afraid, and, just go out there and wear your Magen David proudly. But the truth is, what's so much scarier than being a victim of a hate crime is being a victim of suppressing your identity. Like I saw a video this morning in Manhattan of a rabbi getting spit on. And I was like, I'm not going to say what I want to say, but there's a way we can take care of these bullies. We just have to out-bully them. And I feel like if we try to lessen our identity or not, be proud of it or just hide it, I feel like we're going back to pre-Holocaust era where like Nazi Germany was taking over, and that's essentially letting our enemies win. What I would tell these students is really, if they hate you for who you are, double down on it. Show them that they don't have a choice but to coexist. Like, there's a lot of people I don't like. For me, I don't view it as optional to coexist with them. The same way we have to live amongst people we don't like, they need to learn to live amongst us. And I also want to remind people, because there's a lot of Jews that are choosing today, after October 7th, to appease our enemies. I want to remind them that the Nazis still killed all the Jews who sold other Jews, lessened their identity, tried to hide it, and helped the Nazis. They were all killed too. So we're not going to let the Nazis win this time. We're gonna take precautionary measures.
But there's a lot of pressure on influencers to stay neutral, especially when it comes to Israel. What would you say to those sitting on the sidelines?
Like, they should just be so ashamed of themselves, because eventually you're going to have children, and your children are going to grow up in a world where it's literally unsafe to be a Jew. And part of that reason will be entirely your fault. Like, it goes back to the appeasement. Do you think that if you don't speak up, they're going to accept you for who you are? Because at the end of the day, you're still a Jew. Whether you're religious, whether you're kosher, whether you're observant, doesn't matter. A Jew is a Jew, and a lot of people are putting their profits before their bank accounts before. And then I can't help but to think, like, do you not believe in a God? One day it's going to come, it's going to be your judgment, and Hashem is going to look at you and say, well, what did you do? And you're going to say, I was rich. Nobody cares about that. When your people are under attack and there's a global crisis going on, that's when you double down on your identity. And we've seen so many people who have, Bill Ackman, Dan Loeb, we've seen so many people who had a lot to lose, Robert Kraft, and then we see a handful of people who choose to stay silent, and their silence is actually speaking louder. And we as Jews, we feel it, and it feels very backstabbing.
In the shadow of October 7th, we're honoring fallen heroes and celebrating Israel's resilience. What gives you hope today, and what's your message to the next generation of heroes?
What gives me hope is I get to see a lot of things that people don't get to see. Like, I went to Saudi Arabia. I thought I would be so afraid to be there, and everyone would judge me for being Jewish. And I noticed that specifically in the countries where you're the minority, and it's starting to feel like we're the minority everywhere, I noticed that when you take self-respect in your identity, others organically begin to respect you for it, even if they disagree with it. So everywhere I go, like I never hide my identity and everybody knows where I stand and I'm very unapologetic about it. And I've noticed in light of that, people always be very respectful to me and the respect is mutual. Like I try not to disrespect any group of people either. And knowing that there is a developing sense of mutual respect does give me hope for the future. For the next generation of heroes, I mean, there's so many ways to become a hero. You can be fighting, on the grounds in Gaza, in Lebanon. You could be on social media speaking your truth. You can be prosecuting, universities like Columbia and Michigan and all these, universities that let their students get bullied. Like, I genuinely believe everyone has their purpose and their path, and you just need to find out exactly what problem you can tackle and then give yourself the responsibility in making sure it gets accomplished. And if you do that, listen, you'll make your people proud, but most importantly, you'll make yourself proud at the end of the day.
Thank you so much for that message.
Of course. Thank you.